Narcissists are experts at manipulating, controlling, and twisting situations to feed their fragile egos. But what happens when you use certain phrases that disrupt their illusion of superiority and control? Imagine seeing them squirm, their facade cracking, as the words you say hit them like a dagger to their inflated sense of self-worth. It's not just about standing up to them. It's about knowing exactly what triggers their darkest reactions. These 10 phrases will send a narcissist into a whirlwind of defensiveness, denial, and rage, revealing their true vulnerable selves. Every narcissist has a set of favorite sayings they use to manipulate, gaslight, and dominate. They thrive on getting under your skin, making you question your reality and ensuring that their needs come before anyone else's. But what if you could flip the script? What if you could say the exact words that tear down their carefully constructed image, forcing them to face the truth they try so hard to avoid? In this video, we're diving into the 10 phrases that narcissists hate more than anything else. These words don't just challenge them. They shatter their self-image and leave them scrambling for control. It's not about yelling or getting angry. It's about using simple, straightforward language that cuts through the narcissist's manipulation tactics and exposes their vulnerability. Whether you're dealing with a narcissistic boss, partner, or family member, knowing these phrases can be your secret weapon. Imagine being able to stand firm without backing down and knowing exactly what to say when you need to protect yourself and set boundaries. This isn't just about surviving interactions with a narcissist. It's about regaining your power and control, while they're left helpless, unable to manipulate you any longer. What if you could stop them in their tracks with just a few words? That's exactly what we're going to show you today. These phrases don't just annoy narcissists. They break through their defenses and challenge everything they believe about themselves. Stick around and you'll learn how to use these 10 powerful phrases to your advantage, turning the tables and putting you in control. As we dig deeper into each phrase, you'll see how these simple yet effective words can disrupt the narcissist's game and protect your emotional well-being. By the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge you need to stand your ground, no matter how much they try to manipulate or gaslight you. It's time to take back your power. Are you ready? Let's get started. Compliments or praise for others. One of the most powerful ways to trigger a narcissist's insecurity is by offering compliments or praise for someone else. Narcissists thrive on admiration and constant validation, with the belief that they deserve to be the center of attention. When you direct positive comments or admiration towards another person, it immediately feels like a threat to their sense of superiority. They can't stand it when someone else occupies the spotlight or receives the praise they believe they deserve. The core issue here is that narcissists need to be the constant focal point of attention and admiration to maintain their inflated self-image. For them, attention from others isn't just a perk, it's a necessity. When you compliment or praise someone else, the narcissist interprets it as a direct challenge to their own self-worth. It's as if you've taken a piece of their self-importance and handed it over to someone else. This can lead to feelings of envy, resentment, or even rage. For example, if you praise a colleague for their hard work or acknowledge a friend's talent, a narcissist might react with passive-aggressive behavior or even dismiss the other person's accomplishments. Instead of appreciating your praise for others, they may devalue the compliment, belittle the person receiving it, or try to one-up them. This is because in the narcissist's eyes, any acknowledgement of someone else is an attack on their own grandiosity. This behavior is rooted in the narcissist's deep insecurity. While they may appear confident, their self-esteem is incredibly fragile and dependent on external validation. Complimenting others reminds them that they're not the only one capable of being admired, which they cannot tolerate. It undermines their sense of control and superiority, leaving them vulnerable. To avoid this reaction, some people might try to withhold compliments or praise for others in the presence of a narcissist. However, this only perpetuates the unhealthy dynamics of constantly feeding their ego. It's important to recognize that narcissists will always feel threatened by others being praised, but their insecurity is their issue to manage, not yours. In situations with narcissists, it's often better to focus on setting clear boundaries. You don't have to withhold praise for others, but be aware of how it might affect the narcissist's behavior. Instead of backing down, consider using these moments as an opportunity to remain firm in your own admiration for others without being derailed by their reactions. 2. That's not true. Saying, "That's not true" to a narcissist can be one of the most powerful phrases you use in a confrontation, but it's also one that can lead to intense backlash. Narcissists thrive on control and superiority. and they will do anything to protect the illusion they've built around themselves. When you challenge their version of reality, especially with factual proof, it creates a direct threat to their carefully constructed identity. They hate being caught in a lie. And when you simply state, "That's not true," you are essentially calling out their deceit without emotion or aggression, which is something they cannot tolerate. For a narcissist, truth is subjective. They will twist and manipulate facts to serve their own narrative. So, when you assert the truth, it shakes their confidence and exposes their attempts at manipulation. Often they will react with anger, denial, or projection, trying to turn the situation around and make it about you. Their goal is to gaslight you into doubting your reality, and by saying "that's not true," you are doing the opposite. You are solidifying your stance and refusing to be gaslit. However, it's important to remember that narcissists don't take well to being corrected or challenged. Even if you have undeniable proof, they may refuse to acknowledge it and instead escalate the situation. They are not interested in accepting responsibility. They are focused on maintaining their superiority and protecting their ego at all costs. This can often lead to a cycle where the narcissist deflects or even shifts the blame onto you, trying to create a narrative where you are the one in the wrong. When using the phrase "that's not true," it's essential to remain calm, collected, and factual. Narcissists will try to provoke an emotional response from you, as that gives them power. By staying level-headed and not reacting to their attempts to derail the conversation, you maintain control of the situation. Be prepared for them to try to diminish or invalidate your truth, but don't let that shake your confidence. In situations where you have to assert the truth to a narcissist, "That's not true," is a clear, concise way to push back. It exposes their falsehoods and places a boundary. While it won't always result in an immediate resolution, it's a powerful phrase that reminds both you and the narcissist of the reality that they're trying to distort. 3. I will not. The phrase, "I will not," may seem simple, but when it comes to dealing with a narcissist, it holds incredible power. Narcissists thrive on control, manipulation, and having their way, so when you stand firm and use "I will not," you are directly challenging their authority and expectations. This phrase is one of the most effective ways to set boundaries with a narcissist, but it's also one of the most hated words in their vocabulary. Narcissists believe they are entitled to everything they want, and they view anyone who resists them as a threat to their dominance. When you say "I will not," you are asserting your independence and demonstrating that you will not comply with their demands or manipulation tactics. It can be used in various situations, whether you're refusing to participate in their toxic behavior, rejecting an unreasonable request, or simply standing your ground when they attempt to control you. One of the reasons narcissists hate hearing "I will not" is that it forces them to face their inability to manipulate or coerce you. Narcissists are used to getting what they want through guilt tripping, gaslighting, or love bombing. They don't expect anyone to challenge their authority or say no. When you assert yourself with "I will not," it shatters their illusion of control, which can be highly frustrating for them. The power of "I will not" lies in its directness. Unlike other phrases that might involve lengthy explanations or emotional responses, "I will not" is clear and unambiguous. It leaves no room for negotiation or manipulation. It's a definitive statement of your autonomy. For example, if a narcissist is pressuring you to do something you don't want to do, such as lying for them or tolerating disrespectful behavior, simply saying "I will not" shuts down the conversation. It forces the narcissist to confront their limitations in controlling you. It's important to say "I will not" with confidence, without wavering. Narcissists often try to guilt or shame you into complying, but standing firm in your decision is crucial. They will likely try to escalate the situation with anger or manipulation, but your refusal is the boundary they cannot cross. Over time, consistently using "I will not" can help diminish their power over you and establish your own emotional strength. Ultimately, "I will not" is more than just a phrase. It's a tool for empowerment. It reminds you that you have the right to say no and protect your well-being, regardless of how much a narcissist tries to pressure you. 6. You're wrong. The phrase "you're wrong" can trigger a narcissist in ways you might not expect. To them, being wrong isn't just a simple mistake. It's a direct assault on their self-image and superiority. Narcissists thrive on the belief that they are always right, that their view of the world is the only correct one, and that everyone else should fall in line with their perceptions. So when you tell a narcissist, "you're wrong," you're essentially challenging their very identity, and that's something they can't tolerate. Here's why it has such a profound impact. Narcissists are highly sensitive to criticism, and being wrong is the ultimate form of criticism. It's not just about being mistaken, it's about exposing their vulnerability, and they can't stand feeling exposed. Even if the evidence is clear, they will rarely, if ever, admit that they are wrong. Instead, they'll deflect, deny, or distort reality to protect their fragile ego. In most cases, when you tell a narcissist they're wrong, you won't get an apology or acknowledgement of the mistake. Instead, you'll likely witness them becoming defensive, aggressive, or manipulative. They might use tactics like gaslighting, projecting their own faults onto you, or shifting the blame entirely. It's their way of making sure they remain in control of the situation, never allowing themselves to be seen as inferior or fallible. For a narcissist, admitting they are wrong means losing the power they derive from being perceived as perfect and infallible. So when confronted with the truth, they may try to rewrite the narrative entirely. They might claim that they didn't actually mean what they said, twist the situation to make it look like you misunderstood, or even make you feel guilty for pointing out their mistake in the first place. Dealing with a narcissist when they're wrong can be emotionally exhausting, as they will go to great lengths to avoid any recognition of their errors. However, it's important to remember that telling a narcissist they're wrong is not an invitation for them to admit fault. It's simply a way of asserting your own truth. If you need to address a mistake they've made, be prepared for them to resist and deflect. Stay calm, stick to the facts, and don't expect them to own up to their behavior. Ultimately, telling a narcissist they're wrong won't change their behavior, but it's a crucial step in asserting your own boundaries and understanding how their ego operates. The key is not to waste energy trying to convince them. Instead, focus on protecting your own emotional well-being. 7. I don't care is one of the most powerful phrases you can say to a narcissist, and it's often one of the hardest to use. Narcissists thrive on attention, validation, and control, and nothing bothers them more than when someone becomes emotionally indifferent to them or their actions. When you say "I don't care," you're not just refusing to engage with their manipulative behavior, you're removing their power to provoke an emotional reaction from you. For a narcissist, every interaction is about winning and maintaining dominance. They expect to be the center of attention at all times, and will go to great lengths to make sure that others cater to their needs and desires. Whether they're demanding praise, sympathy, or a specific response from you, narcissists often rely on your emotional investment to fuel their sense of superiority. When you express indifference with "I don't care," you effectively stop them in their tracks. You refuse to give them the emotional response they crave, which is like taking away their primary source of energy. The phrase "I don't care" is especially effective because it cuts through the drama and manipulative tactics narcissists often use. Rather than arguing, defending yourself, or engaging in emotional turmoil, you simply state that their behavior has no effect on you. This level of emotional detachment disrupts the narcissist's control, forcing them to either escalate their tactics or accept the fact that they cannot influence you anymore. It's also important to note that narcissists cannot stand being irrelevant. They rely on being the focal point of others' thoughts and actions. When you say "I don't care," you are essentially erasing them from your emotional world. For a narcissist, nothing is worse than being dismissed or ignored, as it undermines their sense of importance. By stating "I don't care," you are reinforcing that their actions or words no longer have any power over you, making them feel insignificant and unheard. In relationships with narcissists, whether familial, romantic, or professional, this phrase is a critical tool for setting boundaries. It helps you preserve your mental and emotional well-being by refusing to engage in their drama and manipulation. While it may seem simple, "I don't care" is a powerful boundary-setting statement that reestablishes control in your hands rather than theirs. 8. I'm busy. The phrase "I'm busy" might seem simple, but to a narcissist it's like throwing a wrench into their carefully constructed world. Narcissists thrive on attention, validation, and control. They expect the people around them to drop everything to cater to their needs, regardless of what others might be doing. When you say, "I'm busy," it's a direct challenge to their perceived importance. It's a firm boundary, and narcissists hate boundaries because they disrupt their sense of entitlement. Narcissists view themselves as the center of attention. They believe that others should always prioritize them, their desires, and their schedules. When you assert that you're busy, it sends a message that your time and energy are not exclusively theirs to demand. This can infuriate them, especially if they feel you're not giving them the immediate attention they think they deserve. For a narcissist, this phrase is not just a logistical statement, it's a blow to their ego. It signifies that you are choosing something or someone else over them, which directly contradicts their belief that they should always be at the forefront of your attention. When dealing with a narcissist, "I'm busy" is often met with manipulation, guilt-tripping, or even anger. They may try to convince you that your busy schedule is not as important as their needs, using tactics like belittling, gaslighting, or emotional blackmail. A narcissist might make you feel guilty for not being available, often attempting to make you question your priorities or making you feel that your commitment to them should come before everything else. But here's the key: using "I'm busy" is not just about avoiding them. It's about setting a boundary. It's a tool for reclaiming your time and energy, letting them know that you will not be at their beck and call. Repeatedly using this phrase while maintaining your personal boundaries can help you build resilience against their manipulation. It reinforces that you have the right to control your own time and that you are not obligated to cater to their every whim. By saying, "I'm busy," you're asserting your independence, which is often what a narcissist fears the most. They want to own your time and thoughts. By claiming yours for yourself, you undermine their control. It's a small but powerful way to resist their influence and take back your power. 9. Not now. Not now is one of the most powerful phrases to use when dealing with a narcissist, and it's often underestimated. Narcissists thrive on immediate attention and control. Their sense of entitlement makes them believe that their needs and desires should be prioritized over everything else, including your time, energy, and personal boundaries. When you say "not now," you are not only asserting control over your own life, but also sending a clear message that you are not at their disposal. The narcissist's immediate reaction to this phrase is often frustration and anger. They are used to demanding and receiving instant compliance, so when you refuse them, it triggers their sense of superiority being challenged. Narcissists don't like being told "not now" because it disrupts their sense of dominance. It forces them to realize that they don't have the power to dictate your actions, and this is something they cannot tolerate. Using "not now" can be a strategic way to set boundaries without engaging in conflict. Instead of having to explain yourself or justify your position, the phrase simply communicates that you are unavailable at the moment. It also removes the narcissist's ability to manipulate you into feeling guilty or pressured. Narcissists excel at guilt-tripping others, making them feel responsible for their moods and needs. However, by saying "not now," you are giving them a firm, non-negotiable boundary that does not invite further discussion or manipulation. This phrase can be particularly effective in situations where the narcissist is demanding something from you, whether it's time, attention, or assistance. Narcissists tend to demand instant gratification, but "not now" delays their desires, showing that their agenda is not your priority. Over time, the consistent use of this phrase can condition the narcissist to understand that they cannot manipulate you into immediate compliance. "Not now" also protects your emotional well-being. Narcissists often use manipulation tactics to pull you into their dramas, crises, and demands. By asserting "not now," you are taking a stand for your mental and emotional peace, refusing to let their chaos disrupt your life. It can be a small phrase with a huge impact, reaffirming your autonomy and reinforcing the importance of your own boundaries in a relationship with a narcissist. Ultimately, "not now" isn't about refusing everything outright. It's about controlling when and how you engage, giving you the space you need while maintaining your power in the relationship. 10. No. The word "no" holds incredible power, especially when dealing with narcissists. To a narcissist, no is not just a word, it's a direct challenge to their sense of entitlement and control. Narcissists often operate under the belief that they are the center of the universe, and the world should revolve around their needs and desires. When you refuse them, particularly with a firm no, It sends a message they cannot easily ignore. First and foremost, no represents a boundary, something narcissists vehemently despise. Boundaries make them uncomfortable because they force them to acknowledge that their influence over others is limited. Narcissists have no regard for personal space, time, or needs outside of their own. When you say no, you are asserting your autonomy, rejecting their attempts to control you, and putting yourself first. This action is a direct blow to their inflated sense of superiority, one that they will often react to with anger, manipulation, or guilt-tripping. One of the reasons narcissists hate the word no is because it disrupts their carefully constructed narrative. They rely on the power they wield over others to maintain their self-esteem. Saying no forces them to confront their vulnerability, something they desperately try to avoid. It's not just a refusal, it's an act of defiance that reveals they are not as invincible as they project. Furthermore, saying no is an essential tool for protecting your emotional and mental well-being. Narcissists are often adept at pushing boundaries and making you feel guilty for standing up for yourself. They'll try to manipulate your emotions, making you second-guess your decisions. However, a firm no helps you regain control. It's a way of saying, I am not willing to sacrifice my needs or well-being for yours. When used effectively, no becomes a powerful weapon in your arsenal. It helps you protect your time, energy, and resources, while simultaneously sending a strong message to the narcissist that you will not tolerate their behavior. It may not be easy, especially if you've spent time being manipulated, but learning to say no is crucial for maintaining your self-respect and emotional stability. In conclusion, no is not just a rejection of the narcissist's demands, it is a reclaiming of your personal power. It may trigger their rage or frustration, but in the long run, it strengthens your boundaries and ensures you are not taken advantage of. In conclusion, navigating a relationship with a narcissist is never easy, and knowing what to say, or more importantly, what not to say, can be the difference between maintaining your peace of mind and being drawn into their endless manipulation. The 10 phrases we discussed today are not just words. They are strategic tools to help you protect yourself from the narcissist's emotional games, deflect their control, and assert your own boundaries. Each of these phrases serves as a subtle, yet powerful reminder that you do not exist to cater to their inflated sense of self-importance. They are a call to stand firm, take back your power, and refuse to be sucked into their world of manipulation. Whether it's saying no to their demands, refusing to engage in their lies, or simply showing indifference when they expect all your attention, these phrases are your safeguard. But it's important to remember that while these words can help disrupt a narcissist's game, they are only part of the larger process of protecting your emotional and mental well-being. Knowing when and how to use them is just as critical as understanding why they have such an impact. Each time you set a boundary, challenge a narcissist's narrative, or assert your own needs, you are reinforcing your self-worth and shifting the dynamic in your favor. It's also crucial to acknowledge that narcissists will not change. Their reactions to these phrases, often involving rage, manipulation, or denial, are rooted in their inability to accept that anyone else could possibly matter more than themselves. They thrive on control, and the more you let go of that power by refusing to give in to their tactics, the more you chip away at their ability to dominate your life. As you move forward, remember that saying these phrases isn't about starting conflict or engaging in battles. It's about protecting yourself and setting clear boundaries with someone who continuously disregards them. In some cases, simply saying nothing and remaining emotionally detached is more than enough to regain control. The goal is not to win an argument with a narcissist, but to maintain your own peace, dignity, and self-respect. When you are no longer afraid to say the words that disrupt their false sense of power, you begin to reclaim the strength and clarity that narcissists desperately try to take from you. Stay strong, stay firm, and always remember your peace is worth fighting for.